RPG for You and Me presents Neon Heat, an actual play duet podcast using the Savage Worlds system in our custom cyber fantasy setting. It's been a labor of love creating it for the past several years, and we hope you enjoy.
Previously on Neon Heat, Athena brings Zadal into the conspiracy, and he agrees to help her out with her brain troubles. She finds out on her way to work why Escarglow isn't doing so well, and once at the Spire, she puzzles through the task force case. Silas comes by to let her know that if she needs anything else, please come to him, and also to ask Zadal to see him later. Zadal heads up after him for an appointment with his now nebulous fate.
So you are still in the hallway outside of the meeting room, or the Wonderbolt's HQ room,
Yep.
as it has been appropriated to become. Zadal has exited. What would you like to do?
I think Athena's already back in the room, trying to look through papers nervously, but I think she's just reading the same sentence over and over, flipping through pages too fast to, process anything.
Gotcha.
I think she's sitting on the couch with Bolt, though.
He has not moved as many papers as you, and is still just flipping through things occasionally, and I think trying to keep himself absorbed in his work.
That's good. Oh. Athena... Oh, man. I think she just... After, 20 minutes of trying to focus real hard, she just puts a file on her face and leans back on the couch, She done. She can't focus on anything right now. Such a tiny man is in mortal peril and she can't do anything because it's suspicious.
Yeah. After you sit there with your face covered for probably 30 seconds or so, Bolt speaks and he says, "Can't have very good light reading like that.
Oh, sometimes my eyes glow.
Maybe a little too close to your face as well."
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not getting much done. Have you gotten through anything? Have you got any research results?
I don't remember specifically what he's looking at right now.
Oh, I just handed him a file.
Oh.
It was not specific.
Results take time, Sedaris. Can't rush these things.
What file are you looking at?
Oh, this one appears to be about moths.
Just moths or the moths that were...
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Gotcha. Cool.
Definitely about moths, though.
Cool. I think she takes the file off of her face and rubs her eyes, and is just looking off into the middle distance, just trying to figure out what to do. If Silas cracks open Zadal's brain, he's gonna know a lot more shit than he would have previously, and she's really worried. She's really worried. Bolt, why did you move here? City's kind of in the gutter right now. Might not be the best place to be, apparently.
I think it's a fine place to be.
I don't know, it's weirder. Weirder than it was.
I wouldn't know. I haven't been here that long.
How long have you been here?
A couple of months, a year.
What?
I don't know.
You just moved?
Well, I said I've been here for some time.
But months and years, that's a bit different.
I didn't say years, I said year.
Year, I'm sorry. That's pretty fast, though, to have your own task force.
Well, it chose me, I suppose.
That's pretty cool, though, you know?
Sure.
I think Athena's taken a beat to think about that.
I would like for you to roll a notice.
Notice?
No penalties. Just a notice.
4.
4. Bolt is usually a little bit more talkative about things. Maybe he's being a little evasive or purposefully not delving too deeply into it.
Athena would like to delve. I think she looks over at him a little sly, do you really not remember Are you just goofing on me?
He's still looking at the file, but occasionally looks over. I honestly don't remember.
Oh, no.
A little bit. I mean, does it really matter?
Just trying to get to know you, Bolt. We're a task force. Right?
Yes, we are. We are the Wonderbolts.
We are the Wonderbolts. He's not giving her a lot.
Nope, he is taking every opportunity to go back to his reading, although he's making even less progress now. He's been on the same page for
boy
a while.
Can I cast empathy?
Sure.
I'd like to do that.
Go for it.
6.
6 is a success. So as you watch Bolt, the core of his aura is always golden. The same gold that is everywhere on Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
The speed is faster, so he's thinking at a quicker pace than he normally is.
Okay.
There's definitely some concern and some worry. Probably yellows and oranges for that. Yeah, I think that's mostly it. It's mostly concern, and it's moving faster.
I think she's gonna be a little charming, maybe.
Okay. You remember you do get a +1 for social maneuvering when you have cast empathy on someone.
She looks at him and she's taking in his aura, and when it fades out, I think she puts just a delicate hand on his shoulder. Are you okay?
The hand goes on his shoulder, and he doesn't move his head, but his eyes just sort of go over to the hand, and he pushes himself up on the couch a little bit and says, "Yes, I'm fine. Are you okay? Do you need to rap about something, Sedaris?"
Me? No.
He like folds the file and leans on his knees towards you a little bit. Maybe he's trying to look fatherly.
I think she's a little taken aback because she didn't think he'd turn it around on her, maybe. What would she rap about with Bolt to wheedle information out of him? I'm a little worried about going to the casino because my aunt kind of got a promotion there, and I'm worried that she's going to think I'm bringing the law to town, and, you know, because we're investigating and all the people were from the casino that are dead. So I'm concerned she's maybe going to be angry at me, I guess.
I can certainly understand how family can complicate things, but I'm sure your aunt cares about you very much, and I'm sure she wouldn't be angry with you for doing your job.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Do you have a lot of experience with family troubles, Bolt? She looks at him like, very entreatingly. Can I persuade him?
You're definitely going to have to make a persuade. This is going to be at a -4.
What?
But
is this his deep, dark secret?
You do get a +1 because of... Oh, damn. Blew it up.
8.
That's a success with a raise.
Yeah, nailed it.
You say that, and there's almost like a comical, as you're looking at him, like wash of expressions as he sits there and like thinks about this, and it looks like has a pretty fierce internal struggle with himself.
I don't want to put him in an existential crisis.
Oh, it's too late.
Shit.
So he was leaning forward on his knees towards you, and you say that, and he sits up a little bit and folds his hands in his lap and brings his hands a little bit, and starts by looking off at the other side of the room, but then looks over to the door and then back, and there's like a lot of motion in a very small period of time. I do. I really shouldn't be talking about it, though.
I mean, task forces can keep secrets. You can trust me, Bolt. I got you back here safe and sound. I think we're buds, you know.
No, it's not about whether I trust you or not. It's just, I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Oh, it sounds pretty juicy,
It is.
Bolt.
It's very juicy.
Oh, man. I think she has her fingers are steepled. She's very distracted from what's going on at this point in her life, and she's just digging into this as far as she can. She's just got her chin on her laced fingers on her knees, just leaning closer, perhaps.
All right, I might have moved here because I was encouraged to do so, to help out my extended family.
Uh-huh.
I'm not supposed to talk about this, Sedaris.
I do have an extended family. I get it. It extends quite far.
You say that, and I think he pauses to consider that again and says, you might be one of the only people that does understand.
Yeah?
Well, maybe. Oh, okay. Do you promise me, Sedaris, that you won't say anything to anyone about this?
I think she extends a pinky to him.
I'm not familiar with what you're doing.
Oh, it's a Caldonics custom. It's a pinky promise. We grasp a pinky, and we're good.
He nods.
His pinky's really
he
big.
Nods.
Is how many of her fingers is his pinky?
I don't know, his hand's definitely way bigger than yours, but you say that to him and he nods sort of solemnly and reaches out a hand and grabs your pinky with like his whole fist. He grabs your tiny little pinky.
Ooh.
And does a little shake.
She makes an okay symbol with her other hand and nods with a sly smile.
Okay. All right. It's sort of an extended family thing. I won't bore you with the details.
Mm-hmm.
But I came to Caldonics at the request of my great uncle to help with I guess you could call it the family business.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that was signing up for the regulators. I'm supposed to be doing my best to help people, but they're not supposed to know why I'm here.
Why are you here, Bolt?
To help people. To be the thunderbolt that they look up to, the wonderbolt.
But why?
And
How does
he's
this help
about
your
to,
family business?
He's about to open his mouth, and then he stops and sort of quirks an eyebrow and rubs his chin and says, I wasn't really told the specifics. It was about public image. They wanted to put on
I know all about public image.
Good face down here, Caldonics. It's representation.
Yeah.
Make a LaraCorp look better.
Are they fucking cousins? Oh my god. She's gonna delve into that.
Yes, my uncle told me I'm not supposed to tell everyone who I'm related to. It would make them jealous, or it would make them angry with me, or I don't know. I don't like to deal with politics, Sedaris.
Bolt, are we related?
What?
I mean, my family's, got quite a few LaraCorp ties.
He gives you like a very skeptical look, and then
she puts her hands
down
up
himself
and
he says,
leans back a bit. I'm telling you, I got you the truth right there. I don't know.
I don't think we're related, Sedaris.
Athena's very skeptical.
I think it's quite clear that you don't have quite the same physique.
Well, yes, I'm not.
Also, our hair is different colors. There's no disputing that.
Well, that's true. I'm gonna show you some Punnett squares later. We're gonna have some fun.
What's a Punnett?
We'll get into that later. Bolt, who's your uncle? I'll tell you.
He like his neck retracts down, and then his face is like very pressed together. I'm really not supposed to say, but and he leans in and he puts his hand up and says, "My uncle's glassy, Sadar.
Gotcha.
He's the head of LaraCorp."
I do. She's leaning in with her hand too. I do know that. That's pretty cool. I won't tell anyone. Don't worry. I pinky promised.
Yeah, you better not. We made a promise.
I pinky promised, Bolt.
Don't break a promise to me, Sedaris.
I won't.
Don't.
I promise I won't. And she finger guns at him and smiles.
I think he'll take that to heart, and he gives you a nod and leans back.
I think she'll keep that close to her chest for a while.
Yeah, and he leans back and he says, "Well, my uncle said, or what the people who work for my uncle said that I've been doing a good job, so I hope that everything keeps going well for us. Wonderbolt's off into the future."
I think it's gonna go even better, and you're gonna help. Well, what was your directive? Was to help people, make them happy? Was that it?
And he pauses and thinks about it. "Well, first I was supposed to be a regulator, and now I'm in charge of this task force, and I'm supposed to do well at the task force. So, I think we're doing well so far."
I think we're going to be doing even better once we start fixing up some property damage together. Trust me, it's going to be really fun.
Oh, yes.
It's going to be so fun.
So you say that, immediately loses interest in what you're saying. reaches for the file and picks it back up.
I guess talking time's over. She pats him on the shoulder. You'll see. It'll be fun.
And he gives
we can
you
hoverboard there, though.
He gives you a little, like, I don't even know that he heard what you just said.
Ah, jeez. Well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess she looks back at her files. She picks up some papers on the table and flips through them until she gets to that Ali Sahir squiggle paper.
Okay.
I think she looks at it for a good long while. And I think she rifles through for other pictures, maybe of the brains that were dissected.
Okay.
Do the channels of Corey look like they match up with some of the squiggles? She's kind of thinking it might be like a call and response trigger or something for like fucked up glimmer people or something. Because it looks like they were going to mass distribute these papers and maybe set off a ton of like moth bombs. She doesn't know.
I don't think it'd be research because you're not looking through papers to find something. You're comparing two different things.
Smarts,
it might be a notice. Yeah, go ahead and make me a notice, I guess. With +2.
+2? Oh, dang. 13.
13?
13.
These you're comparing them. And it takes you a while because the squiggles and stuff on the paper with the Ali Sahir, it really doesn't look like there's any rhyme or reason. Like, there are symbols and stuff, and sometimes they repeat, and sometimes, like, but it's not like words that are written on a page in order. It's just like, this is a page with these symbols and squiggles slapped on it at random sizes and in random rotation degrees. Like, if you hit the randomize button and it just fucking spat everything onto the paper, that's kind of what it looks like. So it definitely takes you a while, but I think you do eventually match certain symbols, and like, you're like, well, if I made this bigger and if I moved it over here, it like kind of looks like this, and like I could see how that'd be there. So it looks like maybe there is some correlation there.
I did something. I figured out your squiggle puzzle.
You've solved the squiggle puzzle.
Yes. I am very proud of me right now.
Good job.
Thank you. I assume this took a while.
Probably half hour or less of sitting here and trying to pick out which symbols might be this mark. It just takes a little bit, but I think you get there.
She's holding both of the papers in like one in each hand. She's like, holy shit.
Oh, are you all right?
Yeah.
Did you stub your toe or something?
I'm sitting down, Bolt.
Oh, I wasn't looking.
Okay.
And you hear the ruffling of paper behind you like he's picked it back up.
She's not even bothered. She turns to Bolt and holds up the papers and is like, do these look the same? Kinda?
Well, that one looks like nothing, and that one looks like a brain. No, I don't think they look the same to me.
Okay, so she's assuming they have other copies. She's gonna highlight the bits on the brain picture and be like, okay, these shapes here, these Ricori channels got burned through this brain. We don't know why or how, but if you look at these shapes, are they similar? She has no one else to bounce this off of right now. Bolt is her only hope.
Yeah, he's looking there, and his eyes go between them and says, yes, I think that they could be similar. Sure.
What the fuck? Bolt, I think we did something good here today.
I certainly hope so. A lot of things look like other things, Athena.
Uh-huh. Oh,
like,
he called her Athena.
For example, and he pulls up a sheet, like what he's looking at, and he points at the letter T. Look at this one. And then he points at the letter L. It's a lowercase L. And this one, they have similar parts, but they're still different. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, Bolt, I do. I think I get it. Thank you.
Of course. We're a team.
We're a team. Holy shit, okay. She's jazzed. She's jazzed. Something's gone right. Feels good. Well, so Athena's only goal right now is to wait for Zadal to come back. Because she's gotta make sure his brain isn't fucked up.
Okay.
That's her goal.
Sure. Zadal is not coming back.
Not at all.
If Athena waits here all day, Zadal does not come back.
Oh, good.
What are you going to do?
Well, after a long day of investigating and hobnobbing with Bolt and waiting for Zadal to come back.
Let's say you're still down with Bolt and you wait like another hour. So he's been gone for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, something like that. And a rando regulator just comes down and pokes their head in and says, message for you, and holds out a small piece of paper. And on that paper is, talked with the Oculus, everything okay, don't worry, I'm off for the rest of the day, I'll see you tomorrow. And it signs it all.
She's not sure if everything is okay, and she is gonna worry, and she doesn't know where he lives, so she can't go and check on him, so she takes a note.
I feel like at this point you have seen his handwriting, so it was written by Zadal.
Okay.
Like if you've seen anything from him, you would know that this was written by his hand.
That makes her feel only very marginally better, but what are you gonna do? She needs brain power, and Zadal's off. So she's gonna go and talk to Silas.
A bold move.
Yep.
All things considered.
Yep, she gets that.
I'm not talking you out of it.
However, she stops to get a coffee first.
Okay. For self-defense?
She stops to get 2 coffees. I'm gonna go talk to the Oculus real quick, because it sounds like Zadal went home, and I really need to bounce this off of more people before I go and look into it somehow. So I'll be... You know what? If I'm not back, I'll see you tomorrow. How about?
Oh, that sounds like a plan to me, Sedaris. I'll keep cracking on this. And he shakes the file. I'll keep cracking on this.
I'm real proud of you, man. Making strides. We're doing it.
Proud of you too. Yes.
She gives him a big thumbs up.
He gives you the thumbs up and
all right,
beams at you.
Rest up, man. See you tomorrow. And she leaves.
So you're going to the Oculus's room.
Yep.
All right. You are standing in front of the door. You make your way through the spire, down the hall, in front of the Oculus's chamber.
She knocks.
There is no response.
You know what? She's going in.
Okay.
I think she pokes her head in before entering.
Door's unlocked. Opens just fine. You poke your head in.
Hello?
The room is mostly dark, but there's always the ambient light of I guess you call it like a Corey pillar, the tube in the middle of the room, and then the wall glass with the Corey behind it there. So there's a little bit of ambient light, and you poke your head in. There's no movement or anything, but you do notice, slumped over the desk as a dark silhouette against the orange backdrop, is a form.
Oh, good.
What do you do?
Hello? A little louder, a little more worried.
No response.
Nothing?
Nope.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I mean, she's gonna walk over and see if it's a dead person, because that's kind of how things have been tending for her.
So
Yep, I put the 2 coffees down on the desk, and the file also.
As you're walking over to the desk, you can tell that this is Silas. He is slumped over. You put the coffees down on the desk, and from here you can tell that he is breathing.
Oh, good.
He's just completely asleep or unconscious or something.
I think she knocks on the desk a couple of times, seeing if the vibrations will wake him up.
Yeah, I think as soon as you start knocking on the desk...
just like a...
You do that, and he jerks awake. There's definitely a start as... his head is, like, flat on the desk, like he's lying sideways on it.
Yeah.
But he's still in the chair, obviously. And you knock, and he startles awake and is bolt upright.
Oh, shit, are you okay?
Looking around in surprise as he blinks, and you can see that his eyes are just as sunken as they always are with, the dark lines there. And he looks over and sees you and blinks
I think she's got her hands up.
Oh, Athena. Oh, puts a hand on his chest. Hey, you startled me.
I'm sorry, I knocked on the door, but I...
Oh, time's it. And he
oh, jeez, I don't know, I don't have my watch.
Yeah, rummages under his desk, finds a clock and looks at it and sort of sighs, maybe half relief, half exasperation, and says, shouldn't have fallen asleep.
A power nap is a very powerful thing.
Not during office hours. What can I do for you, Athena?
She slides a coffee towards him, squinting a bit.
And he,
I'm sorry about earlier. I thought maybe a coffee would help. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry.
Oh, Are you apologizing for something that you don't know?
I don't know. I just felt bad about where we left it in the hallway, and I needed some brain power, and it all went home for the day, so I was wondering if I could pick your brain about something.
And he's still blinking, waking up a little bit, and he drags the coffee over and smiles and says, "Thank you. The gesture is very kind, but not necessary." Yes, Zadal wanted to take the rest of the day off, so he's gone home. Certainly, what can I assist you with?
She flops open the file on the desk, and it's got the Corey channels and the brain and the Ali Sahir squigglies. These patterns on this paper were burned into these brains that we found, that we autopsied, and I don't know what this means.
You put the pictures down in front of him, and he, continues blinking himself awake and drags them closer and is looking at them side by side. And there is a moment after he's examined it for maybe 15 or 20 seconds when it looks like something clicks in his mind and his eye movement becomes much more rapid and he straightens up and looks more awake.
Do you see what I mean?
Yes. There are similarities in the patterning.
Yeah. So, this paper here, we found a duffel bag just full of these papers, and I'm very curious if it's being used as some kind of, I don't know, mind trigger when they see it, if they have these channels in their brains, if something have you guys seen anything like these papers floating around?
And I think he continues examining it, and he, is tracing lines with a finger and just sort of matching them up and doing his own thing. And he says, "I've not seen anything quite like this before. No. This is curious."
What could carve Corey channels in a brain like this?
I don't know, Athena. I've never encountered anything quite like this. To even leave an imprint on the brain itself is... truly don't know. Those who've suffered tremendous psionic trauma sometimes have distortions or even deformations or something to that effect, but this is a bit different. I don't know what to make of this.
Me either. But I don't know, it was in all of their brains.
All of them.
From the warehouse, from yesterday, from the people that all died in the interrogation room the day before, like, something was talking through them. I don't know what.
What do you mean something was talking through them?
I didn't find out until the last one, where we actually got to talk to him, and it definitely wasn't a voice that should have come out of a woman that size, and she was very, very strong, and she grabbed me, and I punched her and then she died. I think they were unrelated.
Athena has not spoken to Silas about what's happened in the last 2 days yet. Okay, I didn't think so. So she's filed the reports, but I'm working under the assumption that Silas has not read those reports yet.
Yeah, probably.
Just because it's been a short period of time.
He's busy
and he's
meddling with brains.
Uh-huh. You punched a woman and she died?
Well, I punched her and then she died.
It doesn't sound better when you say it that way.
Well, she died of a brain aneurysm, so I don't think that was on me, because all of the rest of them did too.
Punched her in the head.
I did punch her in the head, but I didn't punch the rest of them, and they all still died within the same 20-minute span.
That also doesn't sound better.
It doesn't. I think something's killing these people. It's using them and then killing them when they're in custody, so we can't question them.
Who else knows about this, Athena?
It's just task force business. Rasmus, too.
What did you tell Rasmus?
I asked her about augments for Bolt, and she's like, yeah, we can look into that.
Augments?
She taps her circlet. If there's mind control anywhere near this case and Bolt's involved, I cannot even imagine the unwarranted destruction that could happen if someone used him like they've been using all these other people.
That could be problematic.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I really don't want to get ripped in half, because I think he can do that.
I've never seen it happen, but I wouldn't be shocked were it possible. Your concerns are warranted, Athena.
Good, because I felt like I was taking fucking crazy pills for a couple days now, because no one else seems to think this is a big deal. And it feels like a very big deal.
Yes, this is a new problem. Well, I don't know about the augments. Feel free to pursue Avenue. You obviously have the most experience where that is concerned.
I don't know if he can make his, but... Well, he's linked, though.
It isn't a common skill, Athena. There aren't many who can alter their own biology through sheer force of will. It can happen, to be sure, but... Athena, do you... And he's looking at both the things. Do you have the reports for this? The autopsies?
Yeah, I filed all of it with my reports the past 2 days.
Good. Do you have any reason to believe that whatever is happening is communicable?
I think they're passing it through moths. Moths and glimmer.
Moths?
Yeah, I guess you didn't read the report. The warehouse yesterday? Thousands of them. Thousands of moths, one place. That's why Bolt was so messed up the past couple days, and that's why he charged into that riot, and I had to get him out of there because he inhaled a shit ton of Siku dust. And he was very addled. I'm very concerned about Bolt. And I'd really like to get him that augment.
You seem to be doing alright this morning.
But we haven't seen inside his brain.
That's true, but he's not...
I'm thinking maybe it's kind of a latent sort of thing until it gets set off. I don't know.
Your guess is as good or better than mine at this point, Athena. I don't know. It's certainly a good thing that we're keeping him close for the time being.
He should not be unsupervised.
No, I'll make sure that he has company. Well, thank you for bringing me this, Athena. We certainly need to keep an eye on the situation. Do you have any additional leads?
The bodies from yesterday were all from the casino. Some kind of... there were shepherds. I think that's what the report said. All the people from the other day were just AleraCorp sector workers. They weren't in the same spot, but they were all toppers. Come down here.
Yes, all outsiders.
Yep.
Well, that's certainly something to pursue that shouldn't be left for too long.
I don't intend it to be.
Good. We find ourselves in an unfortunate position where we need to watch our movements and the exposure of certain agents. But we can't let time-sensitive matters such as this fall by the wayside. You know how quickly a lead can go cold.
I do.
Well, it becomes even more problematic that Bolt has external affiliations.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Didn't think there was any secret about that.
I don't think he's a bad guy.
I didn't think he's a bad guy either. I think he's a fool. I think he's exactly who they need him to be.
So he's breaking stuff so they can ingratiate citizens to AleraCorp because they're paying to fix it, right? Do I have a beat on that?
Certainly, that's one motivation.
What are some others?
Public relations. He's large, imposing, a bright beacon of hope. He's friendly, he's engaging. They can plaster his face on their media, draw attention to themselves. They can make regulators look incompetent. They can make trust of the city slip. They can sow resentment within our own ranks. There are many things they can do.
I just don't understand why making the city less safe is their goal.
It's not about safety, Athena. It's about support. It's about money, resources. It's about control. They want more control in the city, and the way they've gotten that is by leveraging an unfortunate situation that occurred to one of their employees, I suppose, into a more advantageous position for themselves. Meanwhile, we are in the process of trying to phase them out as much as possible, since we're far more sustainable now than we have been in years. It's a deadlock. It's a battle of leverage.
think she nods.
We've poached their resources and personnel. They've encroached on our territory, established themselves, taken our funds, resources. Everything is so intermixed now, it's messy.
There has been a lot to catch up on.
I dare say there will continue to be more.
Yeah, probably.
He looks very tired when he says that. Keep your eyes open, Athena.
Oh, speaking of eyes,
Yes?
in the warehouse, has anybody run into big orange eyes? Kind of ethereal, don't really seem attached to much. Control moths. She shrugs at him, hands out. She's just kind of laying it all out. He's gonna read about it anyway.
Make me a persuade
Ooh.
at -4.
That seems fair. Well, the good news is, it was an 11.
An 11, okay. So that's a success.
Maybe
That's
he's...
11 -4? Or
Oh no, it's
after
11
that?
minus.
Okay,
You know, with the minuses.
Okay, so that's
factored in.
That's with a raise, okay.
I think maybe she's just trying to lay it all out, so she seems very forthcoming about things. Just trying to wheedle a little info out of him.
You say that, and there's definitely a shift in his posture and his body language. Before he says anything, he stops rubbing at his eyes and pauses and just sort of looks at you, and he leans against his hand, and he's just exhausted and maybe doesn't have a great response, and looks at you and says, I'm aware.
You're aware.
Yes, I am aware that I don't know entirely what I am aware of. I am aware that such a thing exists. You are perhaps the only other individual, aside from myself, and you said this was at the warehouse?
Yeah.
Yes. Presumably then Bolt and Zadal as well.
Bolt almost assuredly has no idea about them.
And then
But
Zadal.
yeah. What are they?
What are they? They are... I don't know, Athena. I don't know what they are. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know what it wants. I just don't know. I have neither the time, nor the resources, nor the energy to launch a full investigation into something that is, up until this point, been what I considered to be possibly a phantom of my own imagination. I don't know.
So these eyes, they were controlling the moths in the warehouse. I think they were what was controlling and talking through the people in the interrogation room. Told me that I shouldn't be here, that I should go back to the surface, which I don't love. That it said that to me. It called us parasites in the warehouse, interlopers maybe? One or the other. Maybe both.
Spoke to you.
Yeah, it did.
Well, suffice it to say that it sounds like your encounter was far more interesting than mine. I don't know.
Has it been in your head? Where have you seen them?
I think he opens his mouth to respond and then stops and closes it and thinks, and then says, the details are not relevant, as I feel, but the encounter itself was brief, cryptic, and isolated.
How long ago was it?
1 year? 2, perhaps?
And it didn't say anything? It just showed up? Looked spooky? Left?
It said things, but nothing that I feel makes sense now.
Like you can't remember it to make sense of it, or you don't think it makes sense as like a put together statement? Because maybe it would to me, you know?
I do know, but it wouldn't matter to you. Forgive me, I realize this is cryptic and it isn't meant to be, but this is a somewhat personal matter for me that I'm not comfortable dredging up.
Sorry.
No apologies
I'm
necessary. I should have been upfront immediately, but...
I'm trying real hard to be the only Inquisitor on the team today.
Yes, I know how difficult that can be. For now, keep an eye on things. Let me know what you find out. Keep following the leads.
I will.
I'll look into this.
Well, so will I.
The word parasite did come up.
Mm-hmm.
There is a connection, I think. I don't know what it is.
I think she leans a little closer. Her shoulders are a little hunched. So takes a sip of her coffee.
That's it. There appears to be some sort of connection, but I don't know what it is, and I don't know exactly what it means. We can extrapolate that maybe we are the parasites, perhaps?
That's kind of the vibe I was getting. Do we know if anybody lived here before the freeze?
Yes. There were people who lived here before the freeze. There was the research teams. That's the foundation of our city was built upon that, Athena. Didn't you study that in school?
No, I did. It's just been a while since I hit up the history museum.
Oh, it's a riveting experience, let me tell you.
I remember.
Yes, no, the city was founded initially by, I think it was a mining team, a mining expedition that was nestled deep within the mountain. And they were here, and then the zero occurred, and if I remember correctly, many settlers from the surface fled underground in the hopes that they would find more habitable environs, which of course they did. And those who were here already, and the settlers that came from the surface, were the founders of the new city, Caldonix.
But did that mining team displace anything? I mean, if we're all parasites... It's got me a little jittery thinking about it.
Certainly an interesting hypothesis. That we know that there was some indigenous life here, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
I mean, that cavern's big. There's no way we can ever look through all of it.
I mean, the mountain range itself is quite substantial, as I understand it. We've chosen not to delve too much deeper into the tunnels to expand them further because there are hostile native life, which of course we depend upon for survival. And as I mentioned previously, that's become a bit...
dicier.
It's become a bit dicier in recent years. And of course, exploring out into the waterfront is not profitable, and not a good use of our limited resources.
I mean, that's all I got. I'll keep looking into stuff, but...
Sometimes that's all we can do. Many times that's all we can do.
You know, good news, though. I think I've got a handle on Bolt. For the most part, 2 days in, I think I've got this.
Well, if anyone could, I would hope it would be you.
Yep.
You can do this, Athena. I wouldn't have put support behind you if I thought otherwise.
I mean, I appreciate it.
Good. Then keep doing your best. Keep doing your job.
I wouldn't be doing anything else.
No, I suppose you wouldn't. He smiles a little bit at that. Looks a little less tired for a brief moment.
That's good. Still doesn't trust him, though. Silas, were you and Jex close? Like me and Joel? 'Cause I miss him so much, and nobody else really seems to understand our relationship. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do. I don't know if I was close with Jex in the same way that you were with Joel, but he was a mentor figure to me for many years. Taught me much of what I know about the trade, as it is. I didn't expect to be Oculus at this time, but here I am.
Here you are. Joel wanted me to be the proctor.
I think you could have been a good proctor.
No, I think Reeds is doing a way better job than I ever could have.
He looks a little skeptical at that and says, Reeds is talented and dedicated, and does do a good job in her way, and her way is simply different than yours. Doesn't mean you wouldn't do a good job as well.
I think that branch on my tree of possibilities withered many years ago.
I don't disagree. I'm simply making the point that if you wanted to, you could have done it.
All that paperwork, though.
Yes, there's a large amount of paperwork, he says as he 1,000-yard stares into the quarry wall behind his desk.
Do you have the time?
Appears to be about 4. You have somewhere to be.
Well, my shift is over. I've got dinner with my grandparents, so I have to go home and get ready, because I haven't seen them since I've been back.
Oh, well, I'm sure they'll quite enjoy that. I hope you do as well.
I mean, we'll see.
Family can be tricky.
Family can be tricky. Especially if family is good at politics, and me not being as good at politics.
Well, then what are you worried about? You probably won't even know what they're doing.
You know what? That's fair. I'm just gonna go and have a couple drinks and enjoy the bubble.
Good, I hope you can.
Yep, me too. God forbid it all come crashing down while I'm there, because that's kind of how this week has been going.
I don't think you're in any danger there.
You never know. She stands up and pushes her chair closer to the desk where it was.
Yes, enjoy your evening, Athena.
You too, Silas.
Thank you.
Don't forget about that coffee. It's not as good cold.
Yawns. Stretches out his chair. Yes, thank you. Picks it up and takes a sip and jerks back. Oh, it's so hot. How can you drink this?
The hot adds flavor.
And it gives you a very skeptical look and pushes the cup a little further away from him with one finger.
Just give it a try. It only scald for a couple days.
I just did try it.
Well,
That's
I mean,
you were standing right where you are now.
I was standing right
just
here,
a moment ago.
Yep.
Yes.
All right, see you later.
Yes, goodbye.
And she leaves.
You leave.
Fuck. That was a lot of good info.
Good, I'm glad.
She doesn't know how to process any of it.
I know.
But now, she's gonna go to dinner.
You're heading to the Bubble for your date with your grandparents. And the Bubble is an affluent section of the city that's actually located under the waterfront, on the edge, like the lip of the city.
It's at the top of the biggest pier.
That's true. It's filled with residential areas and higher-end shopping, dining, and entertainment. It's like a quasi-gated community. It's far enough away from the hustle and bustle of the city, so it's a bit out of the way. How would you get there? Are you probably taking the highway?
Yes, I'm taking the highway today. Athena doesn't have her motorcycle right now, so she's definitely not hoofing it the whole way there. And her fancy dress she's wearing now, no, she wouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
I think she went home after work and putzed around for a while and got into her one fancy dress she owns.
What does it look like?
It's actually the one she wore to the retirement party. Sans cloak. It's just your normal little black cocktail dress, frills out at the hips to make her look like she has a little more than she does. It's an illusion.
An illusion.
Calf-length boots. Maybe little earrings. Puts her hair up in a bun. She's feeling like she's looking okay today.
Very pretty.
I haven't talked about this at the table yet, but I think she does have pretty meticulously done eye makeup so people can't see how fucking tired she actually is.
Okay. I like that as a character trait.
That's the only makeup she does, just the eyes, so no one's suspicious.
Interesting. Okay. So the highway has a single stop. There is a specific line that has one stop at the entrance of the Bubble and no other stops, and it just circles back to the hub, which is the main highway stop. It's at the tip of the largest pier of the city, leading to a large glass cylindrical enclosure that houses banks of clear elevators with spiraling stairs descending around the elevator tubes, should you be so inclined to walk down yourself.
I think I would be. I mean, it's been a long time since Athena's been back to the Bubble. And she just really likes walking down those stairs and looking at all the sea life.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
She loves an aquarium.
The lights from the bubble itself diffuse through the water, lending the whole area a warm, golden, and reflective glow. And you can see the sea life swimming by, and it's just very relaxing, very peaceful here. It's close enough to the surface of the water that you can almost see some of the currents still moving around, like you can see the sloshing, but as you go further down, that becomes less apparent. As you descend the staircase, you feel the coolness of the water outside, and as you go deeper and deeper, the bubble glows and grows closer. You look out into the dark water, and you can see bioluminescent sea creatures and glowing vents of quarry vapors wafting from the sea bottom. You can see sea life swimming by, flash fish that have this light camo reflex, like it can bend the light to be almost invisible in the water, but it has a flash as a defense mechanism, so every so often there's just a little puff of a flash out in the water.
I think it almost looks like a camera going off.
There are large eels that squiggle through the darkness. Nothing that you can see. You can't see any of the giant manatees, which probably
That's
need a better
damn
name.
shame.
There are some bioluminescent jellyfish that float through the water. Some large manta rays.
I feel like the manta rays on their undersides have little rows of lights that light up in time as their little wings go.
That's really cute. And of course, there are squumps.
These little bastards.
Tiny little
She loves to watch them, loves to eat them.
Tiny little sea lizards that have webbed feet that swim through the water, and they can inflate themselves.
Pretty fast.
They're pretty fast, and they can inflate themselves to this weird lizard ball that bobs and floats in the water.
I imagine they look, when they're inflated, they kind of look real cute, like those, in the Monster Hunter world, the Palumus, is that what they're called?
Palumu.
Yeah, they're just real big and puffy.
And when you get to the bottom of the staircase, you can see the underwater community through the glass perimeter. And it's not just one bubble, it's called the bubble, but it's made up of many sub-bubbles.
Sub-bubbles.
It's very rapturesque, a la Bioshock. You enter the bubble proper as its pressure-locking set of double doors open and shuts behind you, leading you into the main area. And it is immediately apparent that this is a good place to be. The recycled air is dry and fresh and perfectly comfortable, unlike the mugginess of the city above the waves.
It smells like vanilla.
Yeah, does it? The light is gentle and golden yellow, easy on the eyes, relaxing your anxieties that you carried with you from up top. It's like being transported to a different world, even briefly. People are walking about in the streets. The streets sprawl out in many different directions. It feels like an upscale indoor mall with shop fronts and dining, though there's not a lot of overhead space. It's pretty compact, but it's well designed, so it doesn't feel that way.
Probably has a lot of architecture to distract the eye.
Probably. The people here are well dressed, not in a hurry, and happy. Just everything's good down here.
Man, that's nice.
There's chatter, but it never breaches a background murmur. No one seems upset or ruffled, and you're well dressed, so no one gives you a second glance either.
She loves that.
Yeah.
She loves that.
Maybe it's just nice to be in a place where everyone seems happy, even if it's superficial or on the surface.
She's okay with that right now.
Sometimes it's just nice, you know?
She's having a pretty hard day at work, so this is... God, do they pump, like, pheromones into the vents to keep people relaxed down here?
Happiness pheromone, I mean, I guess that's possible, yeah. There's no ambient, like, you're in a city noise. There's noticeably no monitors blasting the news.
Thank God.
There's also quite a bit of wood down here. Polished and dark, lustrous, definitely an imported luxury. In the city proper, wood is definitely a rarity, whereas most things are made from stone or metal. And where there is wood, it's generally a variant of wood grown out of a hardy strain of large mushroom that gets the job done. And down here, there is some metal, but it's mostly ornamental. It's all polished and circular and swooping, very Art Nouveau. So, you're meeting your grandparents at a well-known restaurant named Peak at the top of the bubble. It's a domed restaurant, so you can look through the ceiling and see the ocean and sea life. Very fancy.
So fancy. She's been here before.
You have. So you head to the entrance of Peak. There is a host standing behind a mahogany desk, located in front of an elevator, a single elevator, guarded by two high-class bouncers, and they're all in suits and ties. The man behind the desk has these nice, bright white gloves, like pristine, just very fancy. And the man sitting behind the desk has a small mustache. You walk up and he offers you a smile and says, "Yes, ma'am. May I help you?"
Yes, I'm here with the Sedella Party 3. Unless there are more that I'm unaware of.
"Oh, very good." And he, from his pocket, draws a small pair of half-moon spectacles that he puts on his nose, and he pulls out a ledger and flops it open. Almost entirely unnecessary. Like, there's no reason this shouldn't have already been open, aside from making you feel good about opening it up and looking through it. And he, makes a show about going down those. "Oh, yes, very good. Yes, your party is already here. You're expected any moment."
Oh, excellent.
"Oh, yes, see to the elevator on the right, and they'll ensure you find your way up to your seats."
Well, she goes on over. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day, madam. Yes.
Oh, yeah, you too.
Oh. So you go over to the elevator, and the two gentlemen standing behind it get the okay from the other gentleman behind the desk, and they nod to you and smile as you enter the tube. And it is a very small elevator, as like this is the only elevator that takes you up there, so it's sort of surprising that there aren't more.
She's very skeptical about this elevator, and she's not enjoying being in it.
So I think I'm not going to make you roll for this, because you as a regulator would know that there are like emergency ways out that are less glamorous but will get you out. But maybe that's not the frontal facing.
Gotcha.
So you take the elevator up, and there is some lovely elevator music playing. It's just
Serenade Me. What is it?
the only one that I know is that one that's
The girl
going to
from Ipanema?
Yes, that one. So you take the elevator up, and it opens into a small hallway that has an opening that goes out into a much larger, broader, ballroom-esque venue. And as you walk forward, there is yet another suited man with white gloves who nods to you and who says, "Oh, good evening, ma'am." Yes, they all have the same voice.
Fantastic.
Yes,
I would
good
hope
evening,
so.
ma'am.
No, I think,
where may I take you today?
as a sidebar, I think this is an accent they all have to affect while they're at
God,
work.
okay, yes. So they, oh, no.
Oh, no.
How may I assist you today, madam?
Sedella, Party 3, I think?
Oh, yes, very good. Mr. Darius and Miss Cressida are anxiously awaiting you.
Oh, excellent.
Yes, right this way, madam.
I think she's playing with her fingers again.
Yes.
I think that's her go-to nervous.
Sure. I think he holds an arm out and offering if you would like an escort.
I think she waves it away.
Very good, madam.
I'm a very strong, independent woman, you see.
Yes.
I think she winks at him.
We're all very aware, madam. Yes.
What?
And walks you.
Wait, what? You come back here.
As you enter the main dining room of Peak, your eyes take a moment to adjust to the lower light. And there are large circular tables with comfortable leather-padded chairs. Each table has a light pinkish red Cori lamp in the middle, the light only casting out from them to the edges the table is perched on. It sort of lends an intimate aura to each individual table that doesn't stretch out and break up the darkness too much.
It's a little bubble inside the big bubble, as it were.
There is a small amount of light that diffuses from the surface far above you, and it cascades down, rippling over the table in light blues and purples, like being in a walking tube of an aquarium, and that's just sort of scattered everywhere in the room. So there's just these little magical shimmers of light that go by.
It's beautiful.
This entire room is just one large glass dome, so there are no walls on their own. There's a solid, like the floor is solid, you can't see through that, but everything else is glass that you can see through into the darkness. Colors are rich maroons and purples and flecks of gold, and it smells wonderful in here. Rich and savory, just
Her favorite smell.
Leads you deeper into the ballroom off to the far side, and the tables are all interspersed, pretty even. Like, there's no, better area because
it's all the best.
It's all the best. But he does take you to one of the farther ends. The tables are larger and circular, and you see your grandparents seated there waiting for you.
Nice. She's been really nervous about this.
So your grandfather, Darius Sedella, who is one of the sitting council members, his job title is curator. So Darius is an older, more proper version of your father, of Clint.
Less squirrely looking.
Yes. He is Vel. He's got short-cut dark hair with a dark pencil mustache, and he's he'd probably be in his 70s, so he's older, but still in good physical shape,
Yeah.
still mobile. His expression is usually somewhere between serious and relaxed. You don't see him smile a lot, but, that doesn't mean he isn't friendly.
Right.
Darius also has some white tattoos, circular on sort of like a U on the crown of his head, some lines over his ears, and he has the same yellow Vel eyes that you do, Athena. And then there is Cressida Sedella, your grandmother. She is also a Vel woman, thin and lanky, which is, I think, where you get a lot of your physique from. She has blue eyes, also dark hair streaked with some gray, and she has a blue tattoo around her throat that is about maybe a little bit darker than Pavi's blue, maybe a teal.
Kind of swooping, ornamental.
Darius is dressed also in a very fine-looking suit. Cressida is wearing a stylish dress with shoulder covering pinned over it, very classy, and she is also in her 70s. I think she's probably looking like she's feeling the age a little bit more than Darius is.
Mm-hmm.
And they both smile and stand up to meet you. Darius rises on his own. Cressida does have a cane.
Okay.
Pushes themselves up, and Darius takes a couple of steps out, and he is smiling.
Oh.
And he puts his hands out to give you a large hug. Oh, Deirdre, so wonderful to see you after so long. So relieved you finally returned to us.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back. I'm sorry it took me so long to come and see you guys. It's been kind of a hectic homecoming.
And then I think it's Cressida who responds, and she comes over and gives you a hug as well, and she's one hand on her cane, one hand I think in the flat of your back, just sort of pressing in like a claw, just that very thin, weak hug. Oh, it's been so many years, Deirdre. We were afraid we would never see you again.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I know, dear. You've said that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit down, I think.
Yes, please do. And she pats the back of your chair as she works her way back around to hers and says, well, of course we understand that you didn't come to see us right away. You've been gone for so long, and you're just now back in the city, and these things take time. Darius nods in agreement. We're very happy you've found the chance to come and spend some time with your grandmother and your grandfather.
Well, I'm always willing to find time.
Of course.
Work got very suddenly busy.
Yes, I don't watch too much of the news myself. I read the paper when I can, but it seems you've made quite an appearance for yourself.
I think she just kind of blinks off up in the direction of the bubble roof, and a lot of it was largely being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not sure if this is exactly how I wanted my public image to pan out.
Well, we can always work on your public image. That's never insurmountable.
Yeah, I've got a couple ideas working. I'm hoping they work out well.
If you ever need any support or backing, we'll have you as well as we can, dear.
Thank you.
Of course.
I don't know how readily she wants to call on that.
I'll jump in and say that in the spirit of not bogging things down and retreading the same information that, the same, you're going to have to tell people things over and over again.
Right.
I think they're going to ask you a lot of open-ended, like, how are you questions. They will probably be very general about how they pry into, like, the last 7 years. And I'll tell you that their general vibe is they are more than happy to not talk about it.
Cool.
So, like,
I think Athena would hit the broad strokes as an intro, but not delve further into it if she was asked.
Yeah, and
unless she was asked, rather.
The response from Darius would be, you could speak to us about anything, dear. We're more than happy to listen. But we also completely understand if you just want to move past everything and get on with your life.
I think that would be splendid. I would love that. I don't have an option to most of the time, so I will take it now.
Yes, dear, there's no sense in wasting energy waffling about with things you can't change. So focus on the now, focus on the future. What do you want to do?
I mainly just want to keep being a good regulator is my main goal.
But it's so dangerous. Look at what's already happened to you. Look at what's happened. You've been back for less than a week. It's out of control. It's nonsense.
I think I'm doing okay. And she kind of looks over her slightly scarred arms.
Mm-hmm. You should take Darius, your grandfather can get you a wonderful job working in the mines or working with the Nixians, doing any number of things, couldn't you, Darius?
Oh, of course I could. You were trading for it initially, after all.
Does it sound a bit better to you now?
It does sound nice, and I would like to work, with Mom. I think that'd be good considering, her current situation. But I feel like there's a lot I can do for the city as a regulator that maybe I couldn't as, a siphon. And I think as she's saying this, she's like bobbing her head back and forth a lot, and her bun is like flopping around a little bit, because she doesn't normally have something up.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Oh, well, of course, dear, you are. You are your father's daughter. Have to follow your heart, need to do what feels right to you. We'll support you every step of the way.
And I think she scratches her neck when he's talking about her dad.
Mm-hmm. I think he finishes that sentence and his lip curls just a little bit and he runs his tongue under his lip over his teeth and says,
how is your father and his business doing, dear?
I think it would be doing a lot better if the news wasn't running a smear job, because turns out, you remember the Mobius strip across the street? Mobius's kid, Dick, is on the news.
Yes, I did. I did. As I mentioned, I don't watch much of the news, but I did catch a very specific expose that highlighted certain things about my son.
What do you mean?
Oh, it was a commercial or something for that Mobius strip where Clintero was accidentally featured, perhaps?
Oh, yeah, that.
Yes, has that been representative of your experience with your father lately?
No, I think they just knew he'd be there, right?
And I think you say that, and there was just like a visible wave of relief where he's just like, ugh.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
A little bit more composed, but just like, oh yes.
Cressida jumps in and says, oh, it was awful. Darius, I love Clintero. He's our son, but made him look ghastly.
That's
he didn't look like you crawled out of a trash can.
Well, he was taking out the trash.
Yes, exactly. That is my point.
Ugh.
Could have done so much better for himself.
I don't know about that. She's pointedly looking off at a Corey lamp. I think he's right where he needs to be. He just needs some encouragement.
Oh, we've given him plenty of encouragement, dear.
It's been picking up, though. It's been picking up.
That's wonderful, dear. That's wonderful news to hear.
She's so uncomfortable. She really wishes she could have phoned a friend to come and
sure. So as this
to cut the tension.
So as all this is happening, of course, time is passing.
Right.
So I think the waiters will come around, and there will be some fancy leather monogrammed menus with a single piece of.
I bet they only have
shroom
one
paper
entree.
In there. There's not a lot of options here. What do you think they would have? What's a fancy dinner that you could order here?
Fanciest thing is Kaida, so
oh, that's true.
Probably that.
Okay.
She's gonna do a big old judge if it's not as good as her dad's,
okay.
though.
I don't remember what it's called. It's a specific type of meat where it's aged to almost the point of going bad. Like it's almost...
Dry-aged beef?
Maybe, I don't know. Where it's like almost rancid and there's like a special flavor when it's like right in the middle there. And that's one of the entrees. It's
gotcha.
like kaida meat that is
I do not
on that
remember
edge.
what that's called.
I don't either, but it's almost rancid kaida meat that apparently is a delicacy.
Ugh.
What's another fancy way to serve kaida meat? Maybe it's just like a very plain...
Kaida Wellington.
Kaida Wellington. Just a very fancy cut of kaida steak, perhaps.
Yeah, prepared in a different way than usual.
Sure, and I think Cressida will get some sort of vegetation arrangement, and Darius will also get the same thing as you. So
she didn't have a cane before, did she? Athena's not going to be rude, bring it up, but she's
How tactful. But no, she did not used to have a cane. She looks thinner and more frail than she did 7 years ago. And Darius does too, but you would probably think that Darius is more active than she is. Like, Darius goes out and is moving around the city.
Right.
She doesn't do quite that much. So she's more of a homebody from your experience.
Gotcha.
She sticks to the bubble a lot.
Well, who wouldn't want to? It's very nice down here.
Right, and she doesn't really need to leave. So she can, and does,
Yeah.
but she doesn't have to. The food will come and you guys can be eating this whole time.
Gotcha.
I don't want to break it up quite that
Yeah.
much, but yeah, at a certain point you'll order and then the food comes and you guys are still just talking and conversing. You take a bite of your kaida, and this is a high-end restaurant, so they probably have good food.
Probably.
I don't know that. Should we do like a roll to see how good it is, or
Roll for the chef.
I want to say he's probably got at least a D10.
Probably.
Right. All right. What do you think? D10 or D12?
D10. I bet Clint got a D12. That shit's his life.
You want to roll for Clint?
Yes.
I got a 5.
10!
All right. So
Clint is masterful.
you bite into this meat and it's tender and it's juicy and it's very, very good. It's prepared very well, but it's missing something special, and that something is Clint Harris.
That special sauce he provides.
Yeah, there's just, I don't know. You can taste the love when your dad makes it for you. And it is leaps and bounds better than this.
Well, she's definitely gonna tell him next time she goes by.
And you look over and Darius is eating and he closes his eyes as he takes a bite and just, delicious.
It is very good. I think she's just daintily cutting smaller bites than she would normally.
Sure. And you look over and Cressida she looks like she's also working through her salad, but then she like spears this enormous Keltis leaf and just like shoves it into her like, I don't know. I just have memories
It's so hard to eat salad right.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I have memories of my grandparents eating and like trying to be polite and stuff, and my grandmother, who is like one of the most polite people, taking too big a bite of salad and panicking in the moment and having to like, oh, do I stop taking this bite or do I power through, and what's gonna make me look more ridiculous? So you guys continue to eat, and Cressida says, "Your aunt misses you. You should go visit her very soon. I'm sure she would have a wonderful position available for you. She can always use more security, if nothing else."
I was actually considering going over there soon with a friend. Just having a nice time. Might as well drop by.
Oh, I'm sure you could go there for a nice time, dear, but you should speak to her about positions opening.
I'll mention it.
Very good.
She's very non-committal on this.
Have you seen the news? All these people and the violence. Oh my. Certainly would love to have someone with your resume and experience.
Well, I certainly have experience with violence these days. She leaves as an open-ended statement as she eats more food.
She chews loudly and then sort of with part of the food still in her mouth.
Have you met any nice men, dear?
Oh, boy. Well, I did meet one man who's very nice. His name is Bolt.
I was going to mention it. I saw you on the news together. He seems very kind.
You know what?
He's so large.
He's a big boy.
A big boy.
No, he seems like a very kind fella, but maybe not the most on the ball. He's certainly a good friend to have in my corner.
Quite a looker, yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's so golden.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to rain on the mood, but I was curious, how's my mom been doing since the accident? You know, I only found out about everything a week ago, so I'm kind of playing catch up.
I think there's a moment where they look at each other.
She looks very genuinely concerned at both of them.
Yeah, they look at each other. Cressida's spearing some veggies and Darius is cutting some meat, and they look at each other in silence for a moment.
Yes, the accident. Well, she's been doing better. I don't work with her directly, you understand. She seems to be having difficulty controlling her abilities and her connection to Corey, and her ability to harness and control it, so it's been difficult to keep her in the same position.
Mm-hmm.
But as she works through her difficulties, I'm sure you know I'd never allow her to be out of employment.
I'm just concerned. I've never seen anybody that this has happened to, so this is quite new territory for me, and I just want to know how best I can help.
And I think it's Cressida who speaks. New territory, yes. It isn't a common thing. It's severe trauma, depression, things like that can always be a factor. It's not usually the thing one would be so public with either. It's not it's sort of personal. And she trails off a little bit, and Darius cuts back in and says, "Yes, I think the most important thing is you're back now, and you can assist her in being happy." And I think he waffles and trails off a little bit, and then Cressida cuts back in and says, "Well, there's not much we can do, dear. You know, she doesn't want to come and spend any time with us, so it's difficult for us to make a difference, and she doesn't want to talk, and she doesn't want to get help. We can't force her to. It's her life."
I can't help but feel largely responsible for at least half of that.
Is he responsible for a freak tunnel collapse?
No, more for not being there for her.
Yes, I'm sure your mother's furious with you for being kidnapped and taken away.
Well, I mean, I don't think furious, but
If you think your mother begrudges you anything for being kidnapped and taken away, you are sadly mistaken, dear.
No, I don't think that. I just wish I would have been here.
Well, of course you do. We all wish you would have been here, but it wasn't up to you, and it wasn't up to us. And what use is there dwelling on it? You should look forward, dear, always forward. Learn from the past, but fix the future. She crunches some more Keltis as she looks at you.
I think Athena thoughtfully chews some whatever meat's on her plate.
Yes. Well, yes. And he continues cutting and eating. And there's just like a weird beat of silence as you're all just sitting here in silence chewing.
You know, something did happen at work that I was a little curious about. Maybe there's some light that could be shed on it. I was trying to look at my file when I got back to look over some old cases I'd done with Joel before he retired, and my file's gone. They said it was closed, so I went to the records room and I checked, and it's not there. Do you know where it would have gone? I'd be very interested to find out, because I've never heard of that happening before.
Yeah, I think you say that, and Darius blinks and sort of furrows his eyebrows and looks over at Cressida, and Cressida's just chewing and shrugs. Dear, things haven't changed so much that I have involvement with the regulators. I don't have jurisdiction over files and things like that.
So I do want to see if he's lying.
Okay.
Can I do that? What should I roll for that? I don't think she's specifically done a lie check before, which shame on her, because she really should have been.
Just go ahead and roll your spirit and all. Let's actually, I'm not going to have him roll an opposed roll. Say spirit -2.
Spirit -2?
Yeah, for this time.
Man, my rolls are doing pretty okay. I got a 6.
A 6. It seems like he's being forthcoming. He doesn't appear to be concealing anything. He doesn't seem to know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And it is, as far as you know, there's no crossover with what he does and the regulators.
Well, he does have a lot of sway, and she just wanted to make sure.
Sure. No, I don't think it's unreasonable for you to be suspect there, especially given what other people have said to you. But as far as you can tell, he does not appear to be concealing anything.
That makes her feel a little better, but also more worried because she doesn't know where her file is still. It's just very bizarre, don't you think?
Yes, it's very bizarre. Have you told your superiors about this?
No, my direct superior doesn't enjoy me very much.
Oh.
So
Cressida says, and who would that be, dear? Who's your direct superior?
Oh, I mean, it's a proctor, isn't it? We used to do Shazad back in the day. Just a sporting rivalry.
That would be... And Cressida trails off, and Darius says, that would be Olette Reeds, dear. She says, oh yes, of course. I said, well, I'm certainly sorry to hear that you're having difficulties at work.
I mean, I'll figure it out. I'll just need to go talk to Reitz about it.
Yes,
Just need to be brave.
Well, always know that if things don't work out there for whatever reason, always be sure to find you something maybe at the Lotus or in the Nixians working as a siphon.
I was thinking about going full-time Shazad aspirant. And she lets that just as a beat, just to see what they say, but smiling because it's a joke.
I think Cressida scoffs and Darius has like a very small smile as he sips at some wine.
He says, "Don't even joke about such boorish things. You're much better off without it, dear. Hope you're not planning on going back into that fest."
I think she bites her tongue and looks off to the side.
Oh, dear Troll.
It's
so many better things you can spend your time doing, dear.
It's such a good stress relief, though.
Well, whatever helps you get through the day, dear.
I think it's
good
for me.
She takes an angry bite of her vegetables.
I do want to cast empathy, though, on them to see if they're fucked up. I'm just covering my bases.
Sure.
Athena says one thing only, and it's I'd like to cast empathy.
Sure.
6.
Success.
5.
2 successes. This is another situation where like you wouldn't need to Benny to reroll because you're not.
Yeah.
You can just keep rerolling, but it costs you power points. Okay, who are you looking at first?
Who's closest?
They are equidistant.
I'll
You're
look
literally.
I'll look
there's
at
3 of
Cressida
you.
first.
All right, you look at Cressida. All right, you look over at her, and after a moment of focusing, her aura swirls into vision. It moves very quickly, and I think generally speaking, the speed of the aura determines how fast like the mind is going, or what they're thinking about, or what their current mental state is. So it's moving faster. Mostly shades of yellow and orange, so maybe concern or curiosity, and then a very deep blue, sort of like Zadal's. Which is usually with like pensive or thinking about stuff.
Gotcha.
And then Darius, you do Darius second. His has similar shades of yellow and orange for the just curiosity in this whole conversation. The longer you stare at Darius's aura,
oh no,
the more prominent the color purple becomes. It's like a light purple, maybe like a pinkish purple, and it sort of rims his entire aura. It's not weirdly... I guess it's a little cloudy looking. Not the same as what you've seen on everybody else, like Pavi or Rasmus or anything like that. It's just sort of like a purple gilding. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's like a purple
Is
rim.
that something Athena can make sense of?
It's not something you've seen before.
Purple
So this is new.
gilding.
But it doesn't move. It's almost got like a pulse, like it pulses with the aura. There's no like erratic motion like there was. There's no black streaks or anything like that.
Oh, weird.
And then his general emotional state, aside from like the curiosity, is there's also some blue for thought. I think probably concern is pretty prominent.
Well, Athena's got one more thing to ask about that has just occurred to her.
Sure.
I really would like to go over to the Lotus soon. I did kind of stumble my way into information that something happened with Pavi over there in my absence, and nobody wants to talk about it, and I don't really want to ask her about it, because it seems like it was a bad thing that happened. I'm in a weird place where I don't want to go over there until I find out what happened, so I'm not blindsided by anything.
I think Darius is sort of flicking at his mustache on his lip in thought, just sort of like listening to what you're saying and connecting the pieces. Cressida's expression changes pretty quickly, and it's sort of like it's partially humored, and it's partially, I don't think scorn is the right word, but just sort of like she gets some level of amusement from this, and she says, "Oh yes, that episode.
Episode?
Well, I don't know all the specifics."
I think she leans over the table.
Oh, and Cressida is leaning towards you like this is some.
Oh, this is where I think this is
goss.
specifically where Athena gets that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, this is some hot goss.
It's some hot goss.
So she leans in and she puts her silverware down.
Athena puts her chin on her hands that she's got in front of her on the table, just leaning.
She says, "Well, I'm sure you could ask your aunt about it, and she would give you all the juicy details. But what I remember is that your friend had a bit of say a wild streak, shall we? She had a bit of a wild streak, and she got herself involved with the wrong sort of people. And they, through whatever series of events or things that happened, convinced her that it would be a good idea to try to cheat the casino.
Oh no.
And you have that expression, you look back, and Cressida's just sort of nodding with this satisfied smile, like, yes, I'm sure you can see where it sort of goes from here. So, Pavi nearly got herself and a friend into quite a lump of trouble. But because your aunt is such a benevolent woman and looks out for hers, she swept it all under the rug. Now that, of course, was with the understanding that Pavi was no longer welcome at the Golden Lotus, and future events like this, it wasn't reported to the regulators, because I'm sure you can understand that would reflect very poorly for her. It was all kept sort of hush-hush. And that's about all I know.
You said Pavi and her friend?
Yes, there was another one. It was an arrow. I don't remember what her name was.
Was it Anji?
That was it, Anji, yes. Never met her myself. I don't really know anything about her.
I've only heard her name.
Yes, no, I knew. Pavi ran around with this Anji for, I don't know, some period of time after your disappearance. Like I said, he was doing one of those wild episodes. She probably all just unfunneled energy. I don't know. Hormones and all that.
Yeah, hormones and all that.
I think she has picked up her fort and just sort of like waves it dismissively in the air.
Well...
Yes, well, it's my understanding that she's doing quite better now, so good for her.
Yeah, seems like, her friend Roja was an immense help.
Roja, yes, that's a name. That is a name that has come up more recently, yes.
How do you mean?
Oh, well, you know, it's just come up through, you know, conversation in the family, name drops, and I'm familiar with, know her father.
No.
What is his name, dear? And, Darius is taking a sip of wine and says, I believe it's, Faj. Yes, Naveen Faj.
What does he do?
Well, now he works over in the agriculture district. He handles a lot of the, he grows things. You know, food, vegetation.
Very plant-based lady herself.
Just to the east, here. He waves a hand himself off in one direction of the darkness. Fascinating man. Very talented. We're lucky to have him. Came from the surface, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Immigrated here. Used to work for, I suppose it was Sato, Remington Sato. We brought them in to help with the food shortage years ago.
Yeah.
He came in that first wave, did such an immensely good job that we offered him citizenship, and he jumped at the opportunity and came right on board.
Well, who wouldn't? We're the best city around.
And I think they both beam at that. Like they both take that very seriously at face value, and there's some
she
moments of a
means
sense.
it.
Of course, and they mean it too. We always try to recruit the cream of the crop, the best of the best, and the terms are generally favorable to entice them to come over. And they don't always like that. You know, AmeriCorp and Sato Novi, but they deal with it, don't they, dear? And she Yes, of course they do. As this conversation is happening, Darius, you know, takes his napkin and sort of wipes at his mouth, and he says, "Oh, speak of the devil." Off to a table. I want to say it's a couple tables away, so maybe you guys couldn't see them from here, but two figures are rising and sort of looking like they're about to walk out, and as they're walking over, they look over in this direction and see you guys, and they start to come closer. One of them is a lithe white Karnak.
Is he the one perhaps from the news that I saw way back when?
Very, very possibly. Probably an Ignean from the looks of it. His body is very long and thin, with a twisting tail. He's got shorter limbs, like his legs and arms are not as long as you'd expect them to be.
So he's got like a long torso,
He's
but
got a
shorter,
long torso and neck.
like salamandery kind of?
Sort of, yeah. And he's got this magnificent mustache that hangs from his lip, and they're getting closer. He's more like the traditional Chinese dragon.
Okay.
Like he's got just shorter arms and legs, and as they're coming closer, you notice he is in fact floating. So he's like floating over towards you guys.
Oh, that's cool.
He's dressed in a suit, and it's a thin suit, you know, just to fit his form. His eyes are a very light sky blue.
Like Tukas?
Like Tukas.
They come closer, and walking along with that Karnak is a taller Ori woman with light violet hair and eyes and narrow features. And she's dressed in an expensive-looking pantsuit with her hair bound back in a silk scarf. And she has this mischievous smirk on her face. The Karnak walks forward first, and he says, he floats forward first, and he's got a big smile, and he's got a longer snout, so his mustache just sort of hangs off the side and down. And he says, "It's so good to see you all." And Darius rises to his feet and reaches out to shake the clawed hand, and he says, "Yes, Remington, it's always a pleasure to see you. Did you enjoy your meal?" And he nods, and he says, "Oh, well, you know, the food is always tasty, and the company ever so pleasant." He turns to the side, and the woman laughs at his comment. Sclaffs. And waves an airy hand and says, "Yes, well, you know I'm always down for a night on the town, dear." And then she reaches a somewhat daintier hand out to take Darius's as well. And he says, "And it's good to see you as well, Irma." And you now recognize that this is, in fact, Irma Novi of Sato Novi. You know that she's behind the news, basically. You don't know a lot about her personally, but she's the biggest hand in like the TV station. And they say hello all around, and Cressida smiles and pushes herself up and, shakes hands and stuff too.
I assume Athena rises third.
If you do, it's up to you.
Yeah, I feel like she would. It seemed rude not to if everybody else is.
Roll me a notice at -4.
That's a real minus
there. It
there.
is, but if you get it, I'll give you something good.
Well, you'll be pleased to know. Got negatives all around.
It's not a bad thing. That means I get to hold on to stuff for longer, so it's fun. Okay, so they shake hands all around, and they get to you, and the white Karnak comes forward first and holds out a hand and says, "Remington Sato, pleased to make your acquaintance."
She extends a hand and very pointedly says, "Athena Sedaris, pleasure."
"It's a pleasure to meet you face to face, though I know all about you."
"Oh, yeah?"
"Well, enough."
And he has a big toothy smile and looks over to Darius and sort of inclines his head. The woman comes forward and also puts her hand out in sort of the same dainty manner.
Like a limp wrist.
Sort of slaps it out. And
Athena
says,
takes it in just a big meaty grasp. Just a "Hey, how are you?"
And there's
she is a believer in a firm fucking handshake.
And I think it's very limp when you first grab it, but when it's clear there's like pressure incoming, you feel the other hand, firm up, and there's a flicker of distaste on her face.
"Athena, dear, we can do wonders for your image. You should come and do an interview with us. I assure you it would be to your benefit."
I'm of two minds about that, because what I've seen about me on the news this past week alone has been very worrying for me. But she says everything with the biggest smile, the warmest eyes.
"Well, the camera picks up what it wants to pick up, and we can only do so much with what we have, so all the more reason for you to come down and do an interview with us, dear."
All the more reason. Why not?
Wonderful.
Send me a date and a time.
This woman is probably in her 60s. Like, she's visibly in better shape than Cressida is. Like, she's moving and just fine, but she's still like a little bony framed. Just a little bit. But they have very similar stature and stuff, so.
And she says, "Yes, well, that's wonderful. Have your people call my people, and we'll set it up."
I think I am my people, so I'll call you.
No, you call my people.
Gives you sort of a shark-like smile. Remington gets your attention again and says,
"Well, do give my best to Tuka. She's so reluctant to call on her uncle, but I do hope she's well."
Well, we have a standing appointment to see each other very soon, so wonderful. I'll let her know.
And I think he puts in his claws, I want to say it's like 3. It's like 3 little claws, and they're short, and it's like an eagle talon almost,
Yeah.
He puts that on your shoulder and says,
"And ask your director, whomever, to reassign her. She deserves better."
Well, maybe I can do something about that for you.
And he gives you that same very large smile and says,
"Wonderful. That's what I'd like to hear."
Man, everything's coming up Athena today.
"Well, Darius, I'll see you at the meeting soon. We've a city to run, haven't we?"
Oh, I want to see if they all got that purple gilding on them. Because that was weird.
Sure.
That was weird, and she's very suspicious of everything.
We'll roll 2 more for me.
9.
Okay.
5.
9 and 5. So with the 9, what I'll tell you about both of their auras is you don't detect any trace of anything strange in either of them.
None of that purple gilding?
There's no purple, there's no black weirdness, there's no blurred line, there's nothing out of the ordinary from what you've come to expect. Their personalities, Remington is very laid back and self-assured. He's very id, like he feels good. There's a lot of bright colors, reds, greens, blues. Irma's moves much faster, so she's sort of all over the place. It changes pretty rapidly too, so she's kind of scatterbrained, it seems like. But again, very self-assured, a lot of introspection and thought. Maybe not introspection, but thought. But very active.
Gotcha. Okay. She's seen what she needed to, I suppose.
And she says, "Yes, well, you make sure you take good care of Bolt Boy. We need to get him back on the screens as soon as possible."
Irma Novi will step in closer and she'll say,
"Things have certainly picked up since you've come back to the city, haven't they?"
Oh, well, you know me. I come from movers and shakers.
and I think she smirks even wider at this. So her eyes fall on Cressida, who has since sat back down and is sort of busying herself with her plate, and she says,
"Well, maybe not so much movers."
And her eyes linger on the cane, and then go over to Darius, and she says,
"Shakers, to be sure."
And I think she puts a hand on your arm then and says,
"I guess it remains to be seen what kind of movement you are,"
and moves to walk away. So after Remington and Irma take their leave, and it is just you and your grandparents again, everybody takes their seat, and I think chatter continues. There's nothing too heavy going on, and a bit of time passes, and you're all sort of winding down. The check is paid, about to take your leave, when your circlet begins to heat up.
Oh, shit.
Ever so slightly, and you can feel the slightest presence just brushing against you.
Ooh.
It's like when you felt Zadal pushing in before, when you had the mental conversation, but it's not pressing quite as hard. It's just a brush, but something is there, and something is trying to reach out to you. What do you do?
If it feels like Zadal when they were in the hallway, pressure-wise, like,
Yeah,
it's not trying to, like, blast through it like
Correct.
a ballista.
Correct.
It's knocking on the door?
That's a very good way of putting it, yes.
Oh, fuck. I think she lets whatever it is in.
Okay, and as this is happening, Darius and Cressida are... Yeah, maybe you guys are still eating in silence, or, you know, they don't seem to be, like, experiencing what you're experiencing right now, so...
Right.
So, you lower your defenses.
Yep.
Okay. You lower your defenses, and you can feel someone in your mind. And it's like before, when you were talking with Zadal. You can sense there's another presence there. They're not trying to wrench control from you or anything. It's just there. And for probably the first 10 to 15 seconds after you let the defenses down, nothing happens. But then you hear a voice.
"You are remembered."
Me?
"You."
By who?
"Us."
Who are you?
Who? You are surrounded.
Surrounded by you?
No.
How did you find me?
Watching. Waiting. Trust. Trust not the parasite.
What is the parasite? What is that?
Consumer, destroyer, apprentice, son, betrayer, new, sickness, consumers, consume, destroyers, destroy, master, apprentice, father, son, sickness, fester, host, consume, symbiosis, possible, trust not the parasite.
It would be really helpful if you could give me a name.
Names change. New stolen. Liar, usurper, destroyer, betrayer.
Why me?
You.
I'm not important. I'm just a person.
Master, apprentice.
Me and Joel? I don't understand what you're trying to tell me.
Trust not the parasite.
That's not helpful. Who can I trust? I can't do this alone.
Alone, surrounded.
Can I trust you?
Yes. Us. Trust us.
Please don't go.
Beware.
You feel the presence leave.
Oof.
While this whole conversation has happened, I feel like it takes place in the span of a minute or less. This is all happening mentally, and I feel like it's pretty condensed. I would like you to make me a spirit roll. Just like a composure roll to see how well Athena keeps this together.
Well, she got an 18.
With that, I think Cressida and Darius do not notice that anything is amiss while this is happening, and you're able to maintain your composure, or at least mask it from them while this is occurring. And then, for shits and giggles, make me a notice at... oh my... -6.
-6? What the fuck? That's not good enough. Have a Benny. Oh! One short. Another Benny, I suppose. I've saved them all for this.
You did. You rolled very well today.
Oh, Jesus. Last
Well, you didn't
one.
crit fail, so I'll give you something juicy if you get this.
Oh, I know you will.
Not that I haven't given you enough juice today. What'd you get?
I got a 4. With the minus included.
Oh, you blew up a
I
6
got a
into a
10.
4. Okay. So as the voices are receding and you're basically trying to call it back, I want to say maybe you, not frantically, but you begin to look around for the source, and there doesn't appear to be anything amiss. As you're returning your attention to the table and to Darius and Cressida, something in the corner of your eye, the smallest bit of motion, which ordinarily would be imperceptible or nothing of merit, catches your attention now in this moment of tension. And you look up and you can see outside the dome in the darkness, there's a pair of small lights that are just floating by in the darkness. They're green lights, and they pause very high above, and you can see there's sort of two blobs together, and then they turn, and you can see that they're two circles just staring at you from the darkness. And then when you look up and you see them, they turn away and disappear into the darkness. It's impossible to see, it's dark enough that you can't see any form in the darkness, but you can see these two conspicuous lights. You don't know why they caught your attention, but they did. And you can't help but feel maybe they're connected.
I think she's squinting up, trying to see. I mean, she can't reach out with her brain. She's not that
Sure.
She's not that kind of person.
True.
She slumps into her chair a little bit, exhausted by all that.
You slump into your chair, and this wave of exhaustion just washes over you. Cressida, having finished eating, looks over and pats you on the arm and gives you a smile and says,
"Well, dear, I know your job is stressful, but I hope this shows you that sometimes you can go out and meet some new important people and nothing dire happens."
Thank you for listening to this episode of Neon Heat. Savage Worlds is owned by the Pinnacle Entertainment Group, and you can find them and their products online at peginc.com. You can find our website at rpgforyouandme.com, where we update weekly with new episodes, character art, and bios. Neon Heat features the music of the very talented Crockett, who you can find at crockett.bandcamp.com and on Twitter at Crockett80s. This episode also includes a special composition by Busted Boot Music, who you can find at bustedboot.bandcamp.com.
We're also featuring some songs from Marcus D this week, with his permission. You can find his work at marcusd.net. He's also on Spotify and Twitter at MarcusD. You should really give him a listen. He's excellent.
We're on Twitter at RPG for you and me, and Allie is at UCTheHat, where she posts art from the show. Allie also runs a side campaign for me that's available to our Patreon members, and you can find us there at patreon.com/RPG for you and me. Any support means the world to us, and it makes it easier to make a quality episode every week for you. If you like the show, the best way to support us is to leave a 5-star rating and review, but even more importantly, tell a friend about us. If you're looking for more Savage Worlds content, please check out Sounds Like Crows. It's an actual play Deadlands Reloaded podcast about 5 brothers on a quest for revenge in the supernatural Wild West. The cast is outstanding, and the audio and editing quality is cinematic and top-notch. The game marshal, Caleb Sunstead, is extremely talented and dedicated. They just started their 4th season, so there's plenty to catch up on. With all that out of the way, thank you again for listening. We know there are a lot of podcasts out there, so it means the world that you spent a little bit of your day with us. See you next week.